Hello guys, and welcome to the Supreme Ruler 2030 demo. With the release of the demo, a lot of things in the game changed and a lot is here for free on offer for you guys to experience, so I thought we would tackle what has changed and also tackle what you can experience if you go to Steam and download this demo for free. So for any new players, the demo does feature the full tutorial of the game so you can learn how to play. As I suspected, the campaign is not available in the demo version. None of the campaigns are here. And if we go to Sandbox, we'll see what they made available is a single scenario. And it's not one that's in the playtest, actually. The Battle of Russia 2030, and I'll tell you some work went into this. In addition, there is also seemingly multiplayer available. I don't know if it actually works properly with this demo, but they didn't gray it out and say it was unavailable, so you could potentially try this out with friends. For those familiar with Supreme Ruler Ultimate, you'll see right out of the gate that the UI here looks a little bit different, and it does. With this demo release, it appears they have changed a lot of the UI when it comes to setting up a sandbox or game in general. Namely, we can see these two buttons stand out especially. There is now just this straight up like difficulty button right here, which will preset a lot of the game options for you. And if we open game options, we'll see the three different tabs. But if you ask me, it feels like some of the options have moved around. Whether they have or haven't, oh yeah, it definitely feels like they have. Like everything's in a new category. I'm pretty sure approval effects used to be on the leftmost one. We can actually look at Supreme Ruler Ultimate and compare it, but I don't think that's really important right now. We can see that there's a whole new UI for setting things up in your game, and it's organized by these three categories now: the startup, the gameplay, and the systems. I'm not entirely sure how or why these are the categories that they have chosen to create, especially like critical international opinion. How is that a startup feature and not a gameplay feature? Is it because gameplay is full, so it needs to be in startup? That aside, we still have a lot of the normal things: world volatility, we have our victory conditions, and we have our normal selection of regions. We see 299 regions in the game at the start in this demo, and we can see every single one of these nations has its own little description. The whole concept of this scenario is that Putin has died and you are playing as one of the fragments, one of the 8 fragments, I suppose, of Russia. And they all actually have a different story. Despite being a demo scenario, it's actually pretty story based. So for example, if I pick Moscow or St. Petersburg or something, I will be a part of a story where I form this like triple alliance of former Russian provinces, and I take the battle to Eastern Europe, fighting Poland and I believe Volgograd, which ends up betraying the Russians and turning to the west. It's the same thing over in Asia, where you could play as Eastern Siberia and then choose whether or not you want to ally yourself with Japan and solve some disputes over some islands and then expand through Siberia. Or you can play the other Siberias and handle a Siberia, an Eastern Siberia that betrays you and goes over to the east, and how dare they negotiate with those Westerners. If we go ahead and load that up, we can see what the map looks like. Now, I don't fully understand this. They've changed something here in the options. The ocean looks very, very weird. Yeah, so as we can see, there's watercolor options now. And it also has an incorrect tooltip at the moment. They're gonna have to fix that. Reduces scale of units at higher zoom. I think that's from like, what, up here, yeah? Yeah. They probably just copy and pasted whatever this was down here and changed some text. But this does work. This is apparently dark blue. And then this is blue. Looks more like blinding blue to me. And then light blue, which, oh my god, is even more blinding. It's interesting because these colors look more like I'm playing a war game, right? It looks more like I'm playing like a board game war game. And it has that cool effect, like I feel like I'm back playing Gary Grigsby's War in the Pacific or something. However, it's weird because the ocean they had before and what they have in SRU, it looks way better than this. I hope this is just a temporary thing. If we turn on the water visual effect, dark blue ends up looking much, much different. Dark blue actually looks closer to normal, closer to being completely normal. Actually, this really isn't that bad with the water effect on, but the moment we take that off, it's just like, hey, welcome to MS Paint. It's quite interesting. We go over to blue, we could see that actually still looks pretty nice. I feel like all of these might be expecting you to have the water visual effect on, because they look very nice with that. Although the colors are still very extreme. Are they not? I think they are. Well, here's the story that I was telling you about. We have these story pop-ups. They usually prompt you with some kind of choice, give you some kind of background on events that are happening. As you play through, you'll see a bunch of pop-ups over here of the story playing through. We can see alliances forming between Ukraine, Poland, and Volgograd. Yeah, like I said, they betray, quote-unquote, Russia and join Ukraine and Poland, and St. Petersburg, Moscow, and Belarus end up teaming up together to fight these three, and that's one of the stories. The other one being over here, like I mentioned, we have a pop-up for the Trilateral Alliance over in the west, but also we have an alliance offer from Japan, and basically if we accept this, they'll quote-unquote help us with conquering Siberia. In exchange, we would end up giving them some islands. I believe it's these islands right here, and we can also say no, and then that changes the story. That is the story of the demo, and the gameplay plays exactly as you would expect. This is a feature complete demo. You have pretty much everything that you can do in the game that I have to be able to do in the playtest, and as you would be able to do if the game released fully right now. So that much is good. I played a little bit of it primarily as St. Petersburg, and nothing really surprising happens other than those starting story events that kind of get you going down a line. Another big change, however, there's been more changes if you can't already tell, is there's been a lot of iconography, I believe that's the word, I believe that is a word, that has updated with the release of the demo. For example, down here in the land tab, I believe this is a brand new symbol, and everything down here at the bottom right is a brand new symbol. Holy wow, it makes what we were looking at before seem, I don't know, worse. This is so cool. So we have the finished, as we remember, we gave feedback in an earlier video on how just the symbols maybe weren't good enough, and having the list here was good. Oh, I see a typo. Defensive terrain. Hey Battlegoat, there's a typo there. But these new symbols right here for these four things, or well, five, if you include the reset filter button. I'm not sure why there's a T in there, but that's what that is. I think that these icons work great. So let's compare them actually. So yeah, okay, this is all like the battle map modes, very fitting picture. You got like a gun, map overlays. This is where we come for the ownership one. Shows a little picture of a hex there. That's pretty good. Map elements has like a little like GPS location figure on a map. I mean, that seems pretty good to me. I don't mind that. And then resources kind of shows like blocks and the world, things that, yeah, I would expect this to be resources. Visually, I think I could understand where everything here would be. I think that was actually a problem that I had in the previous iconography setup. I remember instead what they had down here were just these little globes, and they all looked exactly the same. Even with my terrible vision, I can still see the differences in these, and I can pretty much guess what all of these are. The only thing that keeps getting me is this reset filters button, because I'm just not used to this being here, and I keep accidentally clicking it thinking, oh, what's under this one? Click, there goes all my filters. But I think that's just something I'll get used to. It's just not used to it being here because it's never been here. And then we have all these little symbols, which are, I believe, pretty similar to what was here before. It's just they're more properly scaled and sized, and I'm pretty content with these. They look much better. They look very fitting. They're very tiny, which is unfortunate. There's a little bit of extra space here. Maybe they could use that, kind of like make these larger. I believe these should be larger because every new player I've seen, they come clicking down here trying to figure out what things are, and because the buttons are so little, they don't look at them and they don't think to wait on the tooltips because the buttons are so tiny. And they just start clicking around looking for some sort of keyword that will give them what they're looking for. And so, yeah, I think these could do with being a little bigger, especially since there seems to be space for it. But the actual icons themselves look great. The demo has been updated once or twice since it has released, so this isn't the demo as it released. There is a bug if you watched my live stream of the playtest where cities currently get destroyed very, very quickly. They said a fix for that is coming, so you won't accidentally wipe out all of Europe while trying to conquer it, because that's a problem I ran into when I did a multiplayer test on stream. Is I invaded the Netherlands, but I ended up taking over depopulated land of nothing because there was nobody left, because I destroyed every city accidentally and everybody in them died immediately the moment the city was destroyed. And so that was terrible. But they said a fix for that is coming, which is good. I don't know if this is like a new bug or something, but it doesn't remember like what I'm on when I click on a tab, for example. Like you saw, I had clicked on this, it's not there anymore. See, I go back and it's gone. I had clicked on this, it's not there anymore. It's defaulting to espionage. It's defaulting here every time I click on it. It's defaulting here. It's defaulting here. It's defaulting here. Like it won't remember where I was. That's probably a bug. That's probably a new bug. I doubt that's a new feature. That would be a really weird new feature, but I thought I would point it out while I noticed it. I must say, this is just something I caught on to. Like while I'm trying to set up my military, it would be so much more convenient if rules of engagement was like over here instead. I understand why it's not, because you can apply it to like limited amounts here, but my god, it was so much more convenient when it was over here. I do understand why it's not over there, but holy crap, it is hard to find in this same picture of a fucking whatever this is, a tank, over and over and over again. It's just, I have to remember it's the targeting symbol. Okay, I swapped to St. Petersburg to show you guys something. I just find it funny that China invaded Hong Kong and took them over. I haven't seen them do that anytime I've launched this demo up, but yeah, they just went full military bar and invaded that. Wow, that tooltip looks messed up, does it not? Oh yeah, it does. Okay, there's also a new feature, which is I want to know what your guys' thoughts on this are, because it's like, it's something I saw them post about, and it's getting mixed responses because I've seen it create some confusion, but I'm curious. So this game has different speeds. This is what very slow looks like. You can see the number up here moving. One tick up now, we're on slow, and now this is normal. This is fast, very fast, and now fastest. However, this is a little misleading now because this is not fastest anymore, because now there's a setting called boosted fastest game speed. Basically, if this is on, you will get the fastest game speed you would have gotten in SRU. This is uncapped, quote unquote, as fast as your computer can make the game move. Now, I don't really believe that it's up to your hardware, because I've seen games move way faster than this. I understand this is a complex game. There's a lot of things going on in the background, but given the simplicity of the game, I really don't think it's like this is taking all of your hardware. We did a performance test. It does not take all of your hardware, unless it's just the game doesn't know how to use modern hardware, which I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but that's what the devs say, that this is the game is using all of your hardware mode. In fact, you know, you just look at it, because apparently with this the game can't move any faster. So let's see how much of my hardware, let's see like what it's doing. I assume most of this would come down to the CPU specifically. That's what I assume, because I don't think the GPU is really needed to push the game along. The reason that they made this an option to turn on to have it behave like this is because days can be varying speeds based on how your computer can handle everything. I can tell you right now, this game is barely using any of my computer at all, especially not my CPU. There's one core that I think it is favoring more than the rest. I mean, I could probably show you this. Hold up. Let me swap what we're showing. There's one core. I assume the game is running on this core. Call me crazy, but I assume this is what the game is running on more than anything. I believe CPU is the bottleneck, and I believe it doesn't really know how to use other cores, which at least not very well. Unless this is somehow all OBS, which I doubt it is. I believe that's what's going on. I believe that's what they mean when they say as fast as your computer can handle it. It's probably up to just the speed of a single core. So that is, I don't know, I don't like the way they worded that. That is unfortunate, but that is apparently the option you want to select if you want the fastest to work as it did before again. Otherwise, when it's on, well, when this is off and you go, it'll be a little bit slower, as you can see, but it's very consistent. Unless you have a very probably slow CPU, probably one more meant for a workstation or just a very old one, then you should be getting this speed pretty much all the time, unless the speed somehow like decays over time. It means the games will go slower overall, with this new default, but it can be returned back to normal if you wanted to. As you see, Moscow here is going for Volgograd, and this is just kind of what I wanted to show off, was a little bit of the gameplay here. A war starts between everything here, and I mean, we could really just do what we want. I could show you guys something here. Let's just declare war on Estonia. I don't really want to put a lot of effort into this, to be completely honest. So I'm just going to take things, I'm just going to send them this way because I just want to show you how this behaves. So one thing that has changed now that I would like to show off especially is, oh my god, you see how quickly the city's dying? Well, okay, we got lucky and actually captured that. Now, as I said, they said that that was going to be fixed, so if they do fix that, that's really no problem, that's really good. But as you see, even though Estonia really wasn't in any war, they had garrisons pretty much ready to go. And that's a thing I've noticed in the demo version, and even before the demo version, that doesn't really merit its own video, but I can talk about it here, is everyone everywhere is just building garrisons. Look at this, there's garrisons everywhere, and so you end up having to fight the garrison for the hex, and look how close you can get to destroying something. When they actually get full garrisons up, shut up, friends. When you actually get full garrisons up, you can really struggle with taking these things over. Now, full garrisons or not, so long as they fix the durability of cities, which they said they will, then that won't be the problem. But I've noticed currently, at least, AI is very overactive in garrisoning cities, which is something they didn't do in SRU. In SRU, they only really did it when they thought that they were about to be invaded or they were actively at war or something like that. If there was a lot of tensions in a very specific region on a border, they would garrison that region a little bit. But here, everybody garrisons everything. I can show you Finland over here, 5 garrisons. They're filling up still. It's still like the beginning. But we go to the UK, garrisons placed. If we go all the way to America, garrisons placed. You can see right here the amount of garrisons that are up. Cuba, garrisons. Brazil, middle of a jungle, garrisons. Bolivia, probably never going to be invaded in the whole game, garrisons. Oh, look, and there's also this new cute little iconography right here, 96% loyalty to Bolivia. That's cute. I like that. That's a nice symbol right there. That's a good way to display it. Now they just need to replace this supply bar. But that looks really cute. It looks really nice. But yeah, the AI is very defensive in the demo, even in the playtest. This was really in the playtest too. This has some pros and some cons to it. I don't know if this is intended or not, but this means every single country is just like always really prepared for fighting. And so as a player, you can't just surprise the AI as much. However, I don't know how this really factors into long-term sustainability of a country and its reserves and things like that, because you still can't choose to increase your amount of reservists to fill in military units that you deploy. You just have to exploit, raise it, or use some priorities to try to eke it along slowly but surely with the AI's help. So I'd definitely be interested to see what you guys think about that and how that works. Oh, this is cool. Is this like new? Is this just higher definition, or is this just like new? Oh, are these the hexes? Are the trees on the hexes that don't have anything on them? That is so cute. I don't know. I like that. Anyway, that's the demo. That is a list of things that I've seen change from before to the demo and that I've noticed more recently leading up to and including the demo. If you want to get your hands on this demo, it is available on Steam right now. Just go to the store page and you will be able to find this. Download it, let the devs know what you think, or just have fun playing the game before it releases, which I believe the release date is still set for July, which this video may release in July, may not. When's Sunday? I don't know. You tell me. I'm still covering this game until it releases. If you want to see any more videos on any more features or me talking about anything, just let me know in the comments below. We've got a playlist in the description and the cards at the top right. For now though, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.